Healing is moving with connection. If you're connected, you'll have attention. If you're connected, the dog will move with you and they'll maintain position if you can handle them properly. So, and the hardest part of it is staying connected. And I don't care what sport, exercise you're doing, if you can stay connected, it's really kind of easy. Most of our issues are becoming disconnected, and I kind of like that better than attention, because these guys are paying attention constantly unless they're sound asleep. They're always paying attention. It isn't always to us. It might be peripherally to us. You know, part of them, most of them have a kind of a sense of where you're at, but they have other stuff to do. If we can get them to connect with you at camp, I think connecting anywhere else will be pretty easy. So, let's think about the beginning skill that you would need for competition obedience healing, moving with a dog in freestyle, moving in rally, even moving in agility. There's a huge amount. I mean, you're not healing, but it's connection. It's more of a rubber band connection. It goes out, it comes back, it's there, it's there. But I believe your placement of reinforcement is going to be huge in this process. Where the reinforcement comes from, how you deliver it. To start off, I'm going to do a lot of reinforcement in position, where we actually want the dogs to be. We're going to do other exercises where we're going to reinforce away and they have to come back and find position. But the biggest thing in competition obedience, it's a little different in rally and freestyle, is when you start out, where's the dog? It's in heel position, sitting. Do you know how hard that is for a lot of dogs to do? Sit still in heel position. And in rally, they don't have to sit for any prolonged to start, but in freestyle, they have to hold a position. So it's kind of interesting that you can do an awful lot of your connection work without ever moving. Luring is a real skill. You know, I don't know how many of you have followed the clicker training movement, and when we went to positive training, it became a lot of lure reward. It's lure the sit, lure the down, lure the, and then luring got a really bad rap. The initial clicker trainers decided that luring was like an impure way of training. It wasn't really training, it was just guiding them, and the dogs didn't think. And I think that's somewhat true. You should have a variety of skills when you're training. And I try not to leave any skill out if it's not harmful to the dog. And luring in competition obedience is probably used quite a bit to get precision and get muscle memory. Because if you're constantly trying to shape, and I did this with Lola in the beginning, out of curiosity. You have to be incredibly skilled. And I taught Lola to spin to the left using a lure, and I taught her to go to the right using a clicker and shaping. And free shaping. I didn't even use any props. I just used the clicker. I have a perfect turn on the left. The one on the right has some weird behaviors in it. They call them superstitious behaviors because they got clicked along with what I was looking for. So when she does the thing to the right, she does some weird pivot on her back end and kind of like backs a little bit into it or something. She starts all right and then and that's because you know, I was all right at the shaping, but I wasn't skilled enough to realize I probably needed to set it up differently and do this differently and do that differently. So if you are going to shape something like that, we usually use props. We usually use a cone or, you know, X pin in a certain shape or things like that to also get, but down and dirty, you can get a huge bang for your buck using luring to get muscle memory. Once you have muscle memory, the dog will do it correctly over and over and over. But if you teach it incorrectly and fix it, like every time your dog comes into a sit, it's crooked and you fix it. That's the sit you're going to have. Fixing it doesn't help. This is what we're going to do next. We've got those gates set out there, and I'm going to give you a challenge. This is all about the handler. This is you observing your dog. The game is this. You're going to go up to the line, and we just worked on setting up, so hopefully you'll have a little setup there, and your challenge is to walk one step and feed your dog. One step, feed your dog, and do not move until the dog has reconnected with you. And you can't ask them to reconnect with you. They have to do it voluntarily. So it's one step, feed the dog looks around if it does, or looks back up, and you take a second step and feed the dog. And take a third step and feed the dog. But they have to check in. Some of your dogs who are used to releasing after a treat will do this. They'll eat the treat and they'll start walking forward, just assuming you're going to go with them. You will then back up and start over. The back up thing we just did in there, you're going to back them up along the ring gate. And you're going to use the ring gates to help keep them on a straight course. So each of you will have a ring gate on your left. I know some of you are doing freestyle. You're perfectly willing to change this up and do it on the right or whatever. I'm just talking as one plan here, which will be left because it's easier for me to do one. Yeah?
Do we treat them when they look up, or we just step?
The minute they look up, you take another step, no feeding, and you feed them. And then you wait, and you don't have your hand in their mouth. You bring your hand back up here. They reconnect. You go forward.
Okay.
After the fourth step, you're going to have a little party for 4 steps. You're going to go fast because they don't want to keep doing this. It gets a little, you know, let them digest that. And you're going to go fast for 4 steps and be enthusiastic. Like, oh, good job, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you start over again.